This is Eating Crow with Pete Durand.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Eating Crow podcast. I am joined by Rachel Clissold. Rachel, welcome to the show.
Good morning, good day, hello.
It is a good day for Rachel because it's 7:30 in the morning in Australia.
It is.
It's a little bit later in the day here in North America. Well, thank you for joining the show. I'm excited to have you on because when we met on LinkedIn, your presence was just, first of all, your content's great. And then when I met you and we spoke, I'm like, this person has to be in my show.
Aww.
She's just got a lot going on. So I think your mission's great. I think your background's very intriguing. And what was your childhood like? Because we're going to get into why this is important. So when you grew up, what made you so into helping people be better versions of themselves? Was there an example or a person that inspired you to this? Or how did that start?
I was always highly intuitive as a child. And I probably sensed a little bit too much for that age. And, I just have this innate ability to read energies and see beyond the BS that adults can tell you. So I guess I knew certain things, and I guess that's my superpower, to really tune into energies and frequencies and sense things.
There are people that say they can do this, but is it a feeling, or is it when you sense someone's energy or their vibe, what happens? Do you tend to feel the same thing?
Yeah, I feel it in my body. It's almost like I become them. So if somebody's got pain in their back or neck or sore stomach or sore eye, I feel it. So I guess sometimes the line can get blurry as to if that's me or somebody else. Yeah, so kind of learning to still navigate that one, to be completely honest.
And you went down a conventional path working for Deloitte and some other larger companies to begin with.
I did, yes.
You've had this always in the back of your mind. Now this is your full-time role. You help people with this talent. So can you do it over a Zoom call? Could you tell how I was feeling right now? Or is it something you got to do in person?
Oh, no, I can do it. I don't even have to be on Zoom. I could, you could be where you are. I could be where I am and tune in, tap in, and feel the energy and the frequency. So yeah, I can.
Really?
In the same room, on the Zoom, opposite sides of the globe. Yeah, it's super cool.
It is very cool. And you identify that you're trying to find unconventional leaders to help.
Correct.
So obviously what you're doing, people might consider to be unconventional. Why would you need an unconventional leader? Why does that resonate with you?
I guess because I'm a little bit unconventional.
Yeah.
I love to listen to the feeling. I love to let the feeling guide me. And some people might say that's reckless if they're looking from the outside in. I traveled the world for 10 years, and that was my training grounds to trusting wholeheartedly my feeling. And when I did that, magic happened. I went on helicopter flights and sailboats around Hawaii and stayed for free in mansions around the world, and got into VIP areas and
Okay. So now we need to figure out, how did that happen?
Just being bold and ballsy and trusting my feeling. Like when I was Kauai, in Hawaii is an island, I went into full surrender mode and just trusted. I jumped on a flight from Waikiki to Kauai. I just had my backpack and I was like, I booked a flight. I got to the airport, booked a flight. My whole body was shaking. I get to Kauai. I land. I missed the bus. And I was just like, oh, crap, I'm just going to go back to Waikiki. And I was like, no. End up hitchhiking with some family to the hostel, slept on a mattress on a balcony in a hostel. And I'm like, right, checked out that morning. And then I was just like, I'm just going to see where the universe takes me.
Okay.
And it was magical, helicopter flights, hitchhiking around the island. And so again, hearing that story might sound crazy, 5'10" blonde woman hitchhiking around an island, but my intuition felt it was safe. So through my experiences of travels, of doing it unconventionally, that's how it helped me to trust myself even more, and my instincts and my intuition, because obviously I don't want to get hurt or killed or anything.
Sure.
So that helped me hone in on that ballsy, bold kind of action, which is what I want to help leaders do.
So obviously there are a lot of people that wish they would take that chance and go travel the world and backpack and stay in hostels, and you did it, right? So you lived 10 years on your own.
Yeah.
Finding places to live, finding places to generate income to continue to do the journey.
Yeah.
At what point after 10 years, did you say, this chapter of my life is closed, I want to move to the next chapter? How was that? How did you process that?
I had no choice.
Okay.
The universe kind of gripped itself and shut itself down, as I was literally traveling right up into the point where I couldn't, where the whole pandemic thing happened. The universe is like,
Did you make it home?
I did.
Did you make it back to
I,
Australia?
lit-
You did.
I literally booked a trip for 2 weeks, which never happens. I'm gone for at least a month, 2 months, 3 months. I
Okay.
land back in Australia the day you had to self-isolate.
Wow.
So, and that was not planned. That was literally my plane landing. So it was just like, yeah, my intuition knew.
Somebody was looking out for you. That's great. And you had, like you said, your instincts told you.
Exactly.
So you're back in Australia. You realize that you've got all this experience you want to share with others.
Mm-hmm.
How do people find you?
How
What's
did
the best? I mean, how would someone search for holistic coaches, or what would someone search for to find you, or do you find them?
I find they find me organically. I work with people that are ready, and we get massive, huge transformation. Like in 3 months, they're a completely different human. Their world is shining. They've attracted, I've had clients have babies and promotions and heal their back pain, neck pain, diseases in their body, and just going from depression, anxiety to transforming their lives, and, organizing retreats in Costa Rica. And, so it's like, I don't work with just anybody. So I generally find they just find me somehow, either be it on the street, on a park bench, or Yelp, or LinkedIn, or Facebook, or word of mouth. So it's just...
Yeah, I was going to say referrals have to be big, right?
Yeah, because people, when you work with me, you could obviously, like working with anyone, it's one thing to describe the experience. It's another thing to go through it. And working with me is not for the faint-hearted.
So what would be, well, I'm sure they're all different. What would be the first thing they would say to you, Rachel, I need help with X, or do they even know?
I find my clients have a very high level of awareness. So they are aware that there's a problem and they want help and they can't do it alone. So I guess generally it's like they're operating from a high level of anxiety or struggling with depression, and also kind of like childhood trauma as well. I find if that's, when that's sitting there unresolved, it affects us. It influences our life and our decisions inadvertently, right? So I find those, and also communication, struggling with to articulate themselves clearly and, place clear boundaries. So I find, those are the kind of the common threads, and guilt and shame as well, as I'm digging deeper.
Deep. When they explain this to you, because of your natural instincts, are you almost like, yeah, I know? Or can you tell before they even start talking? Or are there things they have to tell you for this to come out?
It's a combination of both. Like, because I work very intuitively with my clients, I got my, tools and tricks and tips and stuff that I do. But generally, I'll kind of tune in before our call and just feel into where they need to go. And it's uncanny. The last few times I've done that, it's been spot on. They'll say the exact same words that I've written down. I'm like, whoa, okay, clearly that's
interesting.
What we're meant to go today. So yeah, it's highly based upon them and their needs. And, some clients will do like 3 back-to-back sessions and they're just like ready to go. And other clients, we need to work very delicately because they're just very sensitive with what's happened. So we just go at a snail's pace. But the growth still happens, it's just like how quickly or how slowly they're ready to kind of go through it,
What would be the most common thing? You mentioned, guilt, which I hadn't thought of. That's a very interesting thing that could be, very trapping for people. What's the first thing you try to get to help them figure everything out? Where's the first place you go?
To regulate their nervous system. If their nervous system isn't regulated, we can't do the work. So it really help support them to come back into their body and like address those things that are in the way. And when we've got like a grounded, solid foundation, that's when we can really do that deep inner work. Yeah, because without regulated nervous system, It's like, imagine going to battle with your demons and you're really unstable. My intuition says it just doesn't work, but that's how I work. Somebody else might work another way, but I just.
When you're talking about nervous system, help our listeners understand what would be an issue with their nervous system that you'd want to address.
Like, for example, some clients, when I initially speak to them, I'll be like, okay, hi, like, what's your name? And they'll like be like, they can barely answer a question, and it's almost like you're in fight or flight response where everything is overwhelming. Does that make sense?
It does. So calming their nerves is one thing you would initially focus on.
Correct.
Because I know holistic is a big part of your background.
Mm-hmm.
How much is breathing, nutrition, and exercise? How do you focus on those three areas for someone?
To be honest, it's not really a focus, which is actually a huge piece of the puzzle, which has just dropped in. Thank you. I should really be bringing that piece in, because I know from my own experience how important it is. Like, I lost 13 kilos and did all the things to get healthy over the last 3 years. So I should really be bringing that piece in. Oops.
Well, good. See, it's a two-way podcast. We're here to help.
Yeah. I guess, my main focus has been that element. And I think that just naturally happens. But I should thank you for bringing that up.
When a leader says, okay, you've said, all right, let's focus on your nervous system, let's get you calm, is part of that exercise to help them to be more aware of what's causing stress and causing them to be uptight? So in other words, they've got to calm themselves to listen. Is that part of the process?
Totally, yes. And it's interesting because we all have our own unique ways of regulating the nervous system and calming ourselves down. And, I can give them a list of things to do that might not be right for them. Like, for example, me, I love to do the cold shower thing, but, I'm a bit too sensitive recently, so I'm not doing them. So I listen. So what I really help them to do is to listen to their body and do what they need, rather than me telling them, oh, do this. So I really help and support them. And another big piece of the puzzle is to listen to your gut, listen to your instincts. It's funny, as I look down and see a book called Heal Your Gut, to listen to what their nervous system needs, because that changes in every moment, right? Like, what you need today is what you might not need tomorrow, How
long is your typical working relationship with a client, or does it vary?
It varies. Typically, we need 3 months to get them like completely transformed and their life completely different. And then it depends if they want like further ongoing support to keep up leveling, And so, for example, one of my clients have been working with her like 1.5 years now. So obviously I love working with my clients, but the end goal is for them to not need me and to, turn to themselves, their inner guru, rather than looking externally.
You talk a lot about trust, both yourself and then trusting people around you.
Yes.
And then, interesting, one of your points in your profile is attract healthy connections, personally, professionally.
Yeah.
So first, trusting yourself. Do a lot of your clients have to rethink their social circles, both at work and in their friend circles? Like, maybe some of these people are contributing to their issues?
Totally. Yeah. Because if you're in a toxic environment, it affects us, right?
How many of your clients change their profession or leave their job?
One of them has. It's interesting. I can really sense she's going to be in a she's a powerhouse woman that's going to create some wild impact in the world. So I can't wait to witness that unfold. Another client a couple of years ago, she got 2 promotions, not 1, but 2. I'm just scrolling through my memories of clients. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Whatever they're ready for, they step into, and then some.
Okay. Your sessions are almost like part counseling, part psychology, part coaching, part holistic body, mind, soul. I mean, do you charge by the hour? Do you charge by the month? Do you charge by the person? How do you charge someone?
I genuinely don't like doing one-off sessions, just because, I hate this analogy, but I'm going to use it. It's like going to the gym and going once and expecting it.
Yeah, I get it.
Doesn't
work.
It doesn't work. You might feel good in the moment, but that will kind of dissipate quite quickly. I like to start with 3 months and then go from there, because each person's journey is different, right? And then obviously working with leaders is, a lot different as well, because they need me more. They need me longer term, year and a half, 2 years. It's very user based, as in like
Okay.
whoever needs me needs me, and when the journey's over, the journey's over, right?
Where are your clients? Are they mostly in Australia or are they all over the globe?
Right now, they're all in America, which is
Interesting.
interesting. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I do work with people all over the world.
You mentioned in the beginning that it's not for the faint of heart.
No.
Are many of your clients resistant in the first few sessions? Are they not opening up, or
No,
how
far
does that
from
work?
it. No, I don't attract people like that. I think in all of my years, I've attracted one and a half people that were closed off. Everybody else, like, that's why I say it's not for the faint-hearted. Like, you need to be ready, otherwise this does not work.
Okay.
And I don't attract the people that aren't ready. And it depends, like I said before, they're either ready for like super quick, whew, let's go, or like just kind of slow and steady.
What's your favorite part about your job?
I just heard the word everything. I love working with my people. I love holding that strong space for them to just fully surrender and probably, I'm getting a bit emotional, probably share with me like they've never shared with anybody in their life before. Those deep, dark parts that you're scared to express and say for fear of judgment. I'm like, you can tell me anything and I will not fucking judge. Sorry, just swore. I will not judge you, and it's just like, tell me everything. And, it's like a space where they're able to be fully felt, seen, and heard for the first time ever, I'm going to guess. It's like watching a flower bloom and blossom, like this baby plant grow, and I'm helping them water and nurture it. And I just watch this baby plant grow and form in front of my eyes. And it's just, I see all of it, and it's just magnificent to witness. Yeah, just the privilege to like facilitate and support that for them. It's a heart wrencher for me. Like, it's a blessing to do that for someone or support someone in that.
Are you able to separate when you, like you said, you can kind of take on their pains and their emotions and their feelings and their vibes? Are you able to turn that off later? Can you shut that out and return to yourself? How does that work?
Yes, that's a necessity. Otherwise, I'm still kind of connected to them, right? Yeah, it's interesting. Like, when I'm working with them, I hold the container. So I'll tune in and send them intuitive messages or create, so even though we're not kind of talking, I'm still holding, this quantum kind of field for them within their experience. So I'm connected, but I'm disconnected at the same time, if that makes sense.
Okay, it does. I understand. If you could do any other job, what would it be?
Basically just following the thread of life and joy. And I basically just do what I feel is true for me,
When you took off on your 10-year journey and came back, did your family think you were different or the same?
When I came back?
Yeah, when you came back.
Oh my gosh, completely different.
Really? How were you different?
Oh my gosh, I was so painfully shy. So painfully shy.
Really?
Yeah. You wouldn't recognize
Really?
me. Yeah, completely different. I was this scared little girl of like rocking the boat and, stuck in this little conditioned box of society. And I knew I didn't know. That's why I wanted to go traveling. And I knew travel would wake me up.
It does.
Yeah, like when I was younger, I used to wait and, when I used to go out like dancing and stuff, I used to wait in queues and, pay to get in. And by the end of it, I'm walking in the door, VIP guest list, whatever.
Like you owned the place, right?
Exactly. Whereas before,
Yeah.
shy, timid Rachel, now like, excuse me, I'm coming through.
Is that part of what you're trying to do for your clients, is to restore that level of self-confidence?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
It's like, what's your version of living? Like, everybody's version is different. I want to help them draw out their truth,
Okay.
not their conditioned beliefs or enforcements,
So definitely trying to find out what holds them back
Exactly.
to unleash that.
Right.
Interesting. Was there something holding you back? Was there something that caused you to be shy?
Just my upbringing, being in an environment which was suppressed and repressed and no one talked. And
Oh, interesting.
yeah, so it was like very painful to be in that kind of environment when I just want to like, raw, be a wild one.
So you felt a pull. You knew that you wanted to be doing something different.
Exactly. And I knew,
Okay.
my gut knew that travel would be the thing that supported me to do that. And it was.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And when you're with your family today, are they more talkative because you've helped them see that that's powerful, or are they still, is it still quiet? Is it still hard for you to be around them?
I'd rather not answer that, to be honest.
That's great. Yeah, don't answer it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because I think it's interesting. I know a lot of kids grew up in homes, and I have 3 children. They're all very different.
Sure.
And I know that they probably in 10 years will be in a podcast talking about me. I don't know, or maybe not. Or maybe they're saying I'd rather not talk about it. But I know that travel has opened up their worlds tremendously.
Oh,
all 3 love to travel.
Yeah. I know when I've met young children on the road, like 10 years old, 15 years old, and they're just so switched on. Like if you compare them to kids that go to conventional quote unquote school systems, they're worlds apart. Like they can hold a conversation with an adult. They're like highly switched on, highly intuitive, highly aware of life and its capabilities and its opportunities, where you see a child in a school, they're just like a zombie almost.
Right. When I speak to leaders, what would be the one thing you'd want me to tell them if I could sense they were lost? What would be the one thing I could say to them to make them call Rachel?
If they were lost, it's funny. I'm feeling this quirky, cheeky kind of side of me come out that just wants to play.
Okay.
It's just like, let's go, let's play. When you're stuck in that vibe, you just need to move, like have fun, be cheeky, bring out that little inner child again. It feels like they're kind of stuck in that cog, the business and hustling. And it's just like, no. The flow is where it's at.
Well, I appreciate you sharing why you went on your journey to travel, right? Why you went on your 10-year walkabout, we'll call it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you pushing back when I asked a question, right? I mean, sometimes I expect people to say that I don't want to go there, but it's really helpful for your clients to understand that you kind of experienced this journey yourself, right? You went through this whole journey and you come at this from a tremendous amount of perspective and self-knowledge that you were a whole different person when you returned. And
100%.
And you said every person's journey is different. Some people might be looking for more family time. Some people might feel like they're in the wrong job. Mm-hmm. Some people might be in the wrong relationship. Mm-hmm. And helping them find the right place must be incredibly gratifying.
Oh, it brings me so much joy. Like you have no idea. I feel like a mama hen,
Very good. Very good. Well, I asked the question because I do talk with leaders both in my peer group and other places who I know are struggling and they don't have the right person to talk to. Mm. I think they need someone a little more creative.
You think what, sorry?
Right. They need someone a little more creative. They need someone who's going to think out of the box and think differently. And I think that's what you do.
Oh, completely. There is no box. We burn the box.
Very good. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure. And I'm glad I learned a little bit more about what you did and why you do it.
Thanks for having me. It was lots of fun.
Thanks for checking out Eating Crow. Like and subscribe so you never miss a video.